Welcome to the Momentum Podcast, where we feature founders and industry leaders who are bold, brilliant, and built to last. I'm Theresa Bassett, author, speaker, and CEO of the Diamond Group, an SMB sales and marketing agency. I'm here to share real stories and strategies from founders and leaders breaking through to their next level. I love helping small businesses grow. My mission: to help entrepreneurs just like you build sustainable, scalable businesses that align with your purpose and create lasting impact. On this show, we sit down with small business owners, growth stage founders, and change makers who are navigating the messy middle of scaling. Episodes typically run about 30 to 40 minutes, packed with insights, practical takeaways, and raw conversations. Let's get into it. Yay. Well, here we are. Welcome back to the Momentum Podcast. I'm Theresa Bassett, our host. And, I get the privilege of spending amazing time with entrepreneurs such as Alexandra here today. I've been so excited to spend this time with Alexandra Laisik, who is the head of Cavik Insurance Group, based here in Wilmington area and surrounds. And Alexandra, welcome to the Momentum Podcast. I'm so excited to have you here.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me again. I'm very excited. So I've been looking forward to it as well. Happy Friday, everybody.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and Alexandra, like I said before we jumped into record mode, you were on my short list when I first came up with this concept, and I was like, well, who do I want to have these conversations with? Ding, ding, ding! Immediately, Alexandra pops in my head. Why is that? Every time I've ever run into you at anything, our groups have been working together now for several years. But your spirit just struck me from the word go.
Thank you.
Yeah, you just have a remarkable, vim and vigor for life. I feel like we're simpatico in so many different levels.
Very similar, yes.
Yeah, and when I brought up the word momentum to you years ago, your eyes lit up like a Christmas tree. Because I think you got it. Like, oh, okay, this is what I want in my business. And I've also picked up that you don't wait around for other people to create that for you.
Oh no, I've always got some crazy idea that I'm ready to move forward or at least try. I think part of entrepreneurship is you got to try. The only thing
Yeah.
you can do is fail, and I think failure sometimes leads to bigger successes than not trying at all.
Oh yeah, 100%. So yeah, so share with our listeners, how did you end up here in Cavik Insurance Group? And
Okay.
how did your entrepreneurial journey begin, and like what created the momentum in the first place?
Okay. I never wanted to be an owner of a company, if you want to know the truth. If you asked me 10 years ago if I wanted to start my own company, I would have said no. So this was a kind of like life took me in this direction. I was getting my master's degree in public administration from New Hanover from UNCW. So when I was in grad school, I got a job at New Hanover County Risk Management. So that's where I started in insurance. That was in 2011. Then I've worked for a few different companies in town, smaller, independent agencies and State Farm as well. And in May of 2017, my mom approached me and said, I think you're doing a really good job. I definitely want to support. If you're interested in owning your own company, I'd be willing to back you.
Yeah.
So, my mom and I actually opened the company in 2017 together, which a lot of people don't know nowadays. She was an owner for the first 5 years, and then I bought her out in 2022 and I became the single owner. So for the first 5 years, my mom did all the back end. She's a chemist by nature, so she's very detail oriented. She handled the finances, the management of the company, and I did the insurance. So, and
Gotcha.
then again in 2022, I took over. So I've been doing it all since then.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. So
Yeah.
she actually looked into what was going on for you, and she saw something that you didn't even see yet.
Oh, yes. I was not ready. I don't think, I think. a lot of people, when they open their own business, they're used to doing the job itself, whether that's selling insurance, the plumbing, the contracting, whatever. But the
Doing whatever the doing is.
whatever
Yeah.
the doing is, yeah, the
Right.
service provided. But
Hmm.
as you grow, that becomes more of a management role. And as they tell you, everybody starts a business. The goal is to sell it one day, correct? Or
Right.
give it to your family or whatever that
Yeah.
generational decision
Yeah,
is.
we've had a lot of conversations about scaling, right? And
Scaling,
having it
yes.
stand up without you day to day
Absolutely,
eventually.
where you can remove yourself from the business and it still runs like it would without you.
Right.
And that takes time. That's something that a lot of business owners have to learn. I had to learn it, and it's been an interesting journey, but I think we're doing okay. I feel like I'm doing a good job.
Nice, nice. Well, what made you say yes to your mom? So you didn't see that coming. You were heading down a completely different path. She saw something different than you saw. What do you think was in you that sparked, that led to that yes, even
I
though it
think
was a completely different departure from the path you thought you were on? I'm
yeah.
just so curious.
I think, well, I was an outside sales agent, so I wasn't getting, like, all of my business was developed by me, which I think a lot of times makes a big difference. I was at networking and involved in community involvement here in Wilmington, and I just found that to be something I was already doing, so why not do it on my own? But
Yeah.
I think the fear level, I think everyone has a natural healthy level of fear when it comes to opening their own business. And because I had a partner and my mom, I mean, my mom's not going to let me fail.
Mhm.
So I felt that because I had a strong partner, it made the stress of opening the company and the fear a little bit less.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point. So yeah, let's talk about that just a little bit. A lot of our listeners are business owners, maybe solo, maybe with a partner. And partnership, as you know, has its ups and downsides, right? Like it
Yes.
could be your greatest joy and blessing, or it could be your greatest nightmare.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
but you said something I think really important, like she handled this, you handled this. So talk to our listeners about that for a minute in partnership. What did you think was part of your recipe for success with your mom in having that work for as long as it did?
I think the success of it was that we understood each other's skill sets. My mother is a chemist by nature, and I'm a salesperson. So I think that in itself really was well balanced between us. I think we both had a desire to see the company grow. We had a desire to grow into a point where it was going to be successful. And then also, we both come from the same morals and background and ethical standards. And I think that's really important. When you can't align on how you're going to do business with your
Oh, you're so
partner,
right. Yeah,
it's
what a
not
good
going to
point.
work. If one person wants to do it one way and one person wants to do it
Yeah.
another, the client and the employees are the ones that feel that grief. And I think we were both aligned in that mindset when we both started as well.
Yeah, wow, what a great point. You're right, because if one partner is like scrambling and willing to walk on the heads of everybody that they pass, like to get ahead, so to speak, but another person's like, no, slow down, wait a minute, these people are valuable. I want to really value the clients, value the employees. That could be a big disconnect.
Absolutely. It's also communication is a big thing, how you communicate with clients, how you do your day-to-day activities.
Mm.
How I think even how you answer the phone there
Yeah.
needs to be a standard and a process that everyone is aligned to, a culture that you set in order for you to see that success. When you have gaps in that portion of your business, it can affect the actual sales and success, I believe.
Yeah, actually, you're bringing up something so important. This is another thing that I think you and I have always been aligned on is systems thinking.
Oh, yes.
When we've talked about scaling, when we've talked about having our businesses stand up without us, you recognized really early on, even before you really had the ability or had it all in place, the need for those kinds of systems.
Oh, I'll go with ability. I had to learn.
Yeah.
I did not have the ability back then, but I do now.
Yeah. 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 I mean, talk to our business owners about that. If they're like so used to doing it all themselves, what's in it for them to form the system, right? To do the hard work, to do the hard yards, if you will. What's the payoff for them?
I think when you start the process, you have to create the first thing you have to do is create the process. You have to write it down. My staff laughs because they say everything's up in here. Yes, everything's in my head. So when you
Yeah.
ask me a question, I can answer it really easily, but sometimes I'm not available. So you have to start the document. You have to create that process from the beginning. It's hard to go back, but if you start in that manner, it makes things a lot easier. And you also have to learn how to trust. I think trusting people based on and giving them that process and then trusting them is something that a lot of people struggle with. But that's where, again, if you have a culture that you've created with processes and, you know, ways to do things that people have to follow, and then you have compliance checks behind them, that makes it a lot easier. But that all comes from a little bit extra that the owner has to do, because once it's done, it's already in place, but you have to first create it. I think that's the first step, and making the time to do so. I think one of the things that a lot of people I talk about is time management as an owner. How do you manage your time? Are you spending it doing all work? Are you giving yourself time to have personal life? How is that balance working out? And I think having good time management really aligns with being able to step away from your company.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. And I think you said something so important, taking the time to write it down. I think the thought that precedes that you mentioned is knowing that you need to write it down, which
Mhm.
then prompts you to make the time to write it down. The thing that even precedes that is recognizing that you have knowledge up here that nobody
Mhm.
else can see, and therefore the need to write it down, and therefore
Yes.
the need to have the time to write it down, right? And
Yes.
we just
Yes.
take it for granted. We take it for granted what we know, what we're used to doing, how we operate. And I think you said something so important. So translating that into something written, but then also trusting that people can then take it and continue the trajectory with it, right?
Yes, and I think a lot of times people want to overcomplicate it. I say it's going back to basics. If you want, for example, if you want an email sent a specific way, write a signature down. Copy, if you send an email and you like how it is, copy it and put it into a document. It's that simple. I think a lot of times Salesforce and kind of those CRM programs, having that in place so you can track that kind of thing. I think documentation, as an insurance agent, I come from a lawyer background, so I document everything, but I think getting in the habit of that and it becomes a part of your day makes things a lot easier too.
Oh, yeah. Well, again, I mean, you've got pearls of wisdom coming out of your mouth. Like even just mentioning a CRM. I talk to a lot of business owners talk about thinking about systems where the sales system for capturing notes is little bits of paper in their car or notebooks or, notes on their phone. And that's where a CRM, a customer relationship management, really comes into place. Like we're a HubSpot agency. We help people, either get started with Salesforce or HubSpot or some kind of CRM. That's a huge shift in and of itself. And for a small business owner, that can be a major shift if they don't start understanding the value of that.
Oh, absolutely. Because I think I mean, we live in a society today where everybody wants everything right away, right? And if you
Mhm.
can't easily access that information, then that puts you behind the person who can. And a CRM system is really going to make that happen.
Yeah. Well, and you said something a few minutes ago. What if you're not available?
For
Like, what if you're not available so that people, if they don't have access to it somewhere in a note system, in a CRM, and it's just in Alexandra's head and you're not available, then they don't have access at all.
Oh no, no, not at all.
Right?
No.
Yeah.
No. And as an owner, you can't constantly be available to every single employee. I think a lot of times business owners, we need that gap where we can take personal time that refocuses and recharges us so we can make those decisions that are needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have an animal by your side?
I do. I'm really sorry.
No.
I have
Who's
four
there?
dogs at my house, so
Oh,
I'm trying to keep them quiet.
I love it. What kind of dogs?
I have a pit bull, two hound dogs, and then I have a foster dog, who's a Rhodesian Ridgeback mix.
Oh
So I
my
have
gosh, I
four
don't
at the
even know
house.
what that looks like.
Oh,
Is that a
everybody
big
was
dog?
quiet a second ago. Hmm?
Is that a big dog, a Rhodesian
She's
Ridgeback?
actually little, so she's
Really?
mixed with something smaller. Yes, my pit is 85 pounds. My Anatolian Shepherd's 75, my hound dog's 65, and she's 45. So,
Oh, wow.
yes,
Wow. And those
yes.
don't all sound like non-shedding breeds. I'm guessing that you have
It looks
some.
like it's snowing in my house, but it's okay.
That's
I
okay.
sweep a lot.
That there are fur babies for sure. Well, with that being said, do you time out for things that recharge you? What do you do to recharge yourself as a business owner? What do you do for fun that keeps the home fires burning and keeps you in momentum?
Definitely dogs. I love dogs. I like giving back to the community. I think having a business is an opportunity to be able to volunteer and to donate. I know we're doing our homeless backpack right program right now for the month of November, our Give Back campaign. That gives us an opportunity to
Yeah.
get me recharged because I have the availability to do so. I love to travel. I always tell my staff I definitely I work while I'm in the United States, but once I get on that plane outside, I travel. I try not to work at all. And then
Oh, good for you.
I read
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. What do you love to read?
Fantasy?
Oh, and
Yes.
and my guess is that with that active mind of yours, you're always learning from everything you do, even if you're not working overseas. Like you're observing things going on around you, and you're like you're applying them. I would bet.
I think so. And also because I'm an insurance agent, I always get that, oh, I have a question or I have a story.
Oh
The
yeah.
minute people found out I'm an insurance agent, there's always, they want to talk about something, which I think is nice. I think when you're able to like what you do and translate into your personal life and be able to talk to people with enthusiasm, it makes a difference for the clients.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, you've always struck me as a person that has a really strong vision for where you want to go. And, it sounds like you've been on your own with this since 2022, since you bought your mother out in partnership. And, we have had conversations about scaling. What's in the Alexandra vision for Cavik Insurance at this point? What do you see coming up over the course of the next 24 to 36 months?
I would say we're growing pretty significantly in the Fayetteville area. I
Hmm.
think that we have an employee up there, so we're trying to grow that area and move outside more of Wilmington, more on into the western part of North Carolina, up near Raleigh and Charlotte and Fayetteville, and kind of growing that area. We've picked up quite a few new carriers that are admitted inland, which has
Oh,
made us very competitive for those kind of clients. And then also we're going to be redoing our website, so that's on the vision. I'm excited about that. Yes.
okay.
And also just really perfecting our customer service, making sure that everything we're doing is as best for the client as we can be, from communication, from follow up, from notes, from ability to get things done quickly, giving them a timeline on what to expect. Those little details, I always want to do something better for the client and how to make their life easy. Insurance is very complicated and it's a lot. People know a lot, but don't know a lot, right?
Well, and they don't know what they don't know,
They
so
don't
they
know what they don't
they
know.
don't ain't- probably aren't even really good at asking all the questions because they don't
And they
know.
don't.
Yeah.
And in today's world, litigiously and with everything going on with the insurance, industry, we want to answer your questions. We want to be clear. We want to be someone that you can trust. I'm not going to underinsure you. I'm not going
Yeah.
to not give you good coverage because it's going to save you a couple dollars. In my opinion, because of how the insurance industry is going, they need someone who's ethical and honest and
You're
willing to
advocating for
and
them.
advocating.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. The amount of times I hear someone's underinsured or the client, my agent never called me back, or I got a policy, I don't even know what's going on with it. Like, those are not things that people should not be aware of. There should be a fine system that you have in place in communicating with your clients and making sure they understand what they have, what the cost is going to be to them if something does happen, and then asking the questions that they may not ask to make sure they're properly protected. We really want to focus on the customer experience for 2026. That's the most important thing.
Oh, I love that, Alexandra. And here's the thing, like, if you nail those systems and you nail that heart of service at the level you're at, and then you scale from there. I know at one point we talked about 3 to 5 locations, right? You kind of mentioned 3 to 5 when you were just talking. Then you're not scaling your problems, you're scaling your successes.
Yes. Yes,
And
yes.
that's ultimately what you really want to do, right? So really, I applaud you for zeroing in on the customer, service journey, and their experience right here. Even as you're looking at those new markets, because that's gonna make or break you in those new environment. Less problems to scale.
I don't think anybody wants problems, right? I think I don't like problems. I don't like it. I agree with you 100%. The more detail oriented you are and the more processes that every single client, if you apply to every single client, you're
Mhm.
going to start to reduce those issues. But also I find that a lot of times customer service comes from not understanding or not being communicated with. It's not really an issue. It's just the lack of communication. And we should not have those problems today. It
Yeah,
takes, in my opinion, a minute to send a quick email. Hey, I'm still working on this. I'll get back to you by Monday. It takes a
yeah.
minute to send a text message that says, Hey, I saw your call. Can I help you via text? Or do you want me to call you back? Those things are not hard to do as a business owner and as a business and the ability to communicate so easily, correct? So I find that is what a lot of people lack when it comes to
Well, that's what I was just thinking. Even though I agree with you, that's not rocket science,
no,
right?
it's not rocket science.
But back to your point of like back to basics, and yet so many business owners miss that stuff. They're missing the forest for the trees. Like the simple block and tackling things that they could be doing to really, improve that customer experience, they gloss over. My guess is that your customer service experience, you've got all the Alexandrisms in your back pocket. So my guess is you've got to distill that and you got to train that into your employees so that they start to group think with you through that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think again it's developing that culture. I mean, I think in Wilmington especially, a lot of business owners, we started just as ourselves. You started just as yourself
Yeah.
doing it. I started just as myself doing it. So how do but and so people get used to that. They get used to
Right.
me. And not all my clients or employees are like me, but they need to have some kind of upbeatness. I'm a happy person.
Yeah.
Insurance is not boring. It is fun. It can be very
I love that.
interesting and educational. And
Yeah.
that's the attitude. It's an attitude. It's an idea of coming to work every day and saying, okay, how can I give 100% today? Whether that 100% is at a 1 level or a 5 level, how can I give that 100% to my clients? And at what point do I need to give that to myself so my clients don't suffer?
Yeah. Wow. Well, I don't know if you recognize how wise and how good you are.
Well,
How,
thanks. I don't,
oh,
I'm just talking.
yeah. Well, no, honestly, you're not just talking because I've seen you show up, and time again, you consistently show up with that attitude and you can tell you carry that into everything that you do. And to your point, not everybody does that. So I think it is part of your secret sauce. And I just want to acknowledge you for that for a minute. Maybe I am the right person to introduce you today because that is part of your genius. So what when I was preparing for this interview today, that for some reason the Robin Williams movie popped into my head, The World According to Garp. Do you remember that? It's an old movie.
I haven't seen that one,
I was like, I
no.
have no idea if Alexandra is going to write a book one day. Alexandra writes a book one day. I think it could be called The World According to Alexandra.
I think my friends would be like, seriously, Alexander, decided.
Be like,
"Hey, look, it's me, you know. It's about you. I mean, we are so blessed to be able to own our own businesses, to be able
we
to
are.
run our own businesses, to be able to do it the way that we do it. That is a blessing. Every day you wake up and you have a blessing opportunity to have your own business that has, I mean, I think they say what 50% of businesses fail within the first 5 years.
Yeah.
If you're able to continue that in a successful way at whatever level of growth you would want to have it at, that should be something you wake up every morning. And for those that pray, thank God that you have
Right.
that opportunity because a lot of people
No,
don't.
no, you're so right. And one of the statistics that has really just on top of that, so the next layer. So if you are blessed enough to find, to create a system where you can gainfully employ other people and bless them with a system for purposeful employment and continue to provide service to your clients, only 5% of women-owned businesses in the United States, small businesses, get over the seven-figure mark. 5%.
Oh, wow.
So if also to your point, the next level, if you're in that 5% where you can create something sustainable to grow past that seven-figure mark, you're really doing something quite remarkable.
I would hope so. I think that sounds great. I
Yeah.
love, hopefully I'll get there one day. That's the goal.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And but that's not going to happen without systems. That's not going to happen without an attitude of gratitude. That's not going to happen without really understanding how valuable your customers and their experience is, right?
Absolutely. And I think going to your point about being a women-owned business, I think a lot of times women-owned businesses, as a woman, I'm looking at my employees in a different manner than maybe other people do.
Mhm.
Three of my girls work from home with small children. They're stay-at-home moms and they work full-time jobs and they are the best employees I have. And the opportunity for me to give a stay-at-home mom a career where she gets to raise her child, pick her child up from school, get to, experience dance class at 3:30. That is a huge blessing to me in particular. I am a huge advocate of bringing women back into the workforce
Mhm.
from because single moms can do anything and stay-at-home moms are so they can do anything. And so
Yeah.
that's a huge impact for me as well, specifically to Cavik Insurance. We really, really want to bring more women back into the workforce and give them that career, but also understand that they're mothers and people want to be moms. They want to have both, and it's possible.
Yeah, I love that, Alexandra. That is so special. And, as a woman business owner, it sounds like you really see your people as an asset, but you also see the asset that Cavik Insurance can be to them if you have the right mindset and systems as a business owner, that you can create a quality vehicle for them to have a great life simultaneously.
Absolutely, yes. And I think a lot of business owners, they don't, the work from home change has been a hard thing for some people. They want them in the office. And I found if you have those processes in place and the communication set, that's a huge opportunity for you to scale and allow people to have that flexibility, but still give you the work that it needs to be done.
Yeah, well, and it sounds like you found the upside of that. You found the win-win equation in that, where, maybe there's some compromise that you felt as a business owner or Kavik has felt, but you're able to compensate for that because you get loyalty and
Oh,
you get
yes.
diligence and you get appreciation where maybe other people wouldn't extend that, so they wouldn't experience that.
Absolutely. I think when you treat your employees like people and not like cogs, I think they're going to have a different experience. When you give them ownership of things, when you empower them to make their own decisions, when you empower them to handle problems, when you empower them to take a vacation and see how they do. I remember my first vacation, I had a full-blown panic attack before I left the country by myself, but
Yeah.
it was fine. They
Yeah.
handled it. If you give them ownership, you'd be surprised what people will do with that. They like that. I think giving them the power and the will and the fortitude and the process to complete that task is something that makes the difference between an employee and someone just sitting at a desk.
Yeah, no, you're so right. Because the flip side of that, back to that concept you were talking about, trust, is if you say, "Oh, I trust you," but then you have to be in every single little thing, your actions are saying, "I don't trust you at all."
Yes.
Right? Because if I have to be in every single little thing, the flip side of what I'm saying is, I don't trust that you're going to be in every single thing.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So
Yes.
you're right. Sometimes the space that we're creating for people to rise into is actually one of their greatest opportunities for them
Absolutely.
and for you to learn from.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Well, it's so exciting to watch your business grow. I know as a business owner, being so blessed with the opportunity to be alongside of you on the journey, it's been super fortifying to watch you bloom and blossom as a business owner, but to watch Cavik Insurance grow. And every single time, one of my team members runs into somebody on your team, like we know it's a mutual blessing.
I'm so thankful for you guys. I have such a different opinion about marketing and social media because I want it big and bright and fun and not
Yeah.
insurancy, and I think y'all's team, like I said before, I love my Emily's.
Yeah.
They take my vision and they just run with it. And it's always a positive experience and it's always over the top of what I was expecting. It's very organized, which I love. We just have a really good working relationship, and that's hard, that's hard to find in marketing, I think. And you guys just blow it out of the park.
Oh my
I
gosh.
love my
That's
social
like a
media.
little soundbite in and of itself. Don't be surprised if that gets edited out of this podcast and used somewhere. That was not the intention, but I know you're right. And those Emily's truly care about you and your business, and they love working
Yeah,
with you too. And that's
they do.
really that's what you're talking about.
They do.
Mm.
They really support my vision and how I want to do business, and that means more to me than anything because I know I'm a little bit of a whirlwind,
Yeah.
and they just do such a good job, and it's always fun. And the amount of people, Teresa, that talk about my social media are like, "I saw your video, I saw your reel, I saw you. You're all over social media. Whoever's doing your social media, you're doing such a great job." Like
Awesome.
it is constantly just praise from the team, from the everybody else, and then personally, I just love working with you guys.
Oh, well, that's amazing. Well, the fact that we found a working groove, we've been able to sustain it for a long
Yeah.
time. That's what I'm all about. I just really want to equip and empower and embolden business owners to do exactly what you're doing. And momentum, getting in momentum, staying in momentum, it takes a village. We're not
Hmm.
all going to be solo, agents doing it on their own. And I can't do it without you. I mean, I can't do it without my fellow business owner, my fellow women business owner across town being a blessing to her employees. Like that's a blessing to me. So,
Thank you.
women power.
I think it's great. Yes.
Like,
I love it. And I think too, I think one of the things that people miss about marketing is that when we first started, one of the things I love and I've told other people about was we created three scenarios of people that I would be selling to.
yep, your
And I
persona.
thought that was a huge piece of because that was 2 years ago. And since then, I have been able to really hit that target in those markets and grow and scale, move into other areas because we sat down at the beginning. It's not just about the videos and the posts,
Right.
it's looking at how, again, what your brand is, what your culture is, and what your vision is.
Who
And
are
I
your
think
people?
who are your people?
Who
Who
are
are
your
you wanting?
people?
Yes,
Yeah,
and I think a lot of times business owners they miss that. Who are you selling to? They want to do everybody. And
right.
someone like me, yes, insurance is for everyone, but there's a lot of businesses who it not everybody is their client and they're
Yeah.
struggling to find that right client. And I think how you guys do the momentum program is really important and essential to helping a business scale as well.
Oh, well, thank you so much for saying
Oh,
such
you're
kind words.
welcome. It's true.
And yeah, and I want to help you continue to grow. And that's that at the end of the day, that's what gets me up in the morning. So if you had one thing, one takeaway, then you just want to leave with our listeners, one thing you want them to take away as a golden nugget, what's the one thing you would tell business owners today to remember?
Ooh, I don't know. There's so many things.
I know.
I would say don't let failure cause you to stop.
Yes. I
Don't
was
let
so
fail
hoping you were going to go back to what you said about failure.
Yeah, don't let failure cause you to stop. I mean, I have when networking, for example, I've done presentations to 2 people and I've done presentations to 50 people. Both have had the same impact. It may not be in the same level, but both have an impact.
Yeah.
You may do get this great client and something goes wrong and they move away. Well, and they go somewhere else. Well, how do you handle that situation? That's a failure. Do you go, okay, how do I correct the situation? How do I move forward? How do I, make that communication with the client as best as I can in this situation? Or do you just kind of let it fall to the wayside and be like, oh, well, that stinks.
Yeah.
Failure is a way for you to learn about yourself and to learn about your company and show you what you're made of. And if you are able to overcome that failure, it may not happen right away, but success will follow because you have the grit and the determination to continue on with even in spite of that.
Yes. Oh, I love that. So learn from everything.
Learn from everything.
Learn
Everything is an
from
opportunity
everything.
to learn and to be better.
Yeah, yeah, I absolutely love that. Okay, so when you write your book called The World According to Alexandra, I want the first copy signed with all the
Maybe one day.
Alexandrisms in the book. Okay.
Maybe one day. The
Now,
first one will be insurance is not boring.
yeah. Well, maybe
Where's
that's the
Ratner?
subtitle. I I love that. Well, definitely insurance is not boring when you're involved. So
No, it's not. I hope it's not
no.
at least.
And the other thing I would say, so where will people find out about you? Tell them where to go to learn more about Cavik Insurance and you. And if they hear this and they're like, wow, I really need an advocate for my business. You don't just serve people in North Carolina. You can serve people outside of North Carolina. Tell them where to find you.
Yes, so we have three local offices. One is in Leland at 403 Village Road, and then we have another one at 1029 North Lake Park Boulevard in Carolina Beach. Then we have an office in Fayetteville, and then but we write, like you said, clients in multiple states. So we can write all the way across North Carolina from the coast to the mountains, Virginia, Tennessee, and South Carolina. So we have markets and clients in all four states that we have availability to help with.
Awesome, awesome. And give our listeners your URL. So where do they go online to find you?
It's
www.
Cavik, Cavik insurance.com. And then our social media is before Havoc, call Cavik.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, yeah. Well, as your marketing team lead, of course, I have to give you a marketing opportunity. So, yes, www.cavikinsurance.com. Before Havoc, call Cavik.
Yes.
And
And you can request a quote online or you can call the office or text us 910-722-3225.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Well, thank you so much
Thank
for blessing
you.
me on this Friday. It is a beautiful sunny day. We're getting ready to cruise into Thanksgiving. Good luck with your backpack drive.
Thank
I
you.
I love that that we also share that give back
Yes.
philosophy, because I just think more business owners, if they were doing what you're doing, like we can have such an impact together.
Thank you. Thank you. And
In our
thank y'all for
business.
your support. So I really appreciate it. And you
Yeah.
have a donation box at your office from what I've been told.
Oh, excellent. Well, then I will
Yes.
definitely make sure that
Yes.
I find that. I actually just got back into the office a couple days ago from
Nice.
a family event, so I will make sure I track that down.
Awesome. Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's been so good to catch up with
Oh my
you.
gosh, this has been so much fun. We might have to do a part two of this at
I'm
some point.
down.
Yeah,
You let me know.
absolutely. Oh, I love you, Alexandra. Have a great day. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thanks again so much for tuning into the Momentum Podcast. I truly appreciate you being here. If you're a founder or entrepreneur with a story to share and you're in the growth phase of your business, I'd love to hear from you. Visit podcast.diamond-group.co to apply to be a guest. Again, that's podcast.diamond-group.co to be a guest. If this episode helped you, inspired you, or made you think differently, please share it, leave a review, or hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. Remember, my mission is to spotlight stories and strategies that help purpose-driven business owners grow with clarity, confidence, and intention. To learn more about the Diamond Group, you can go to diamond-group.co. I'm Theresa Bassett. Remember that I'm with you and for you. Onward and upward. I'll see you next time.